Hey guys, and welcome back for another content of Ragnarok Classic. And in this video, we are going to talk about the recent patch notes about the balancing of some classes, mainly the Ranger, Performers, and Genetics. I am here on the test server to test out the changes of the class, but I just want to apologize earlier for Genetic fans out there since I don't have the Genetic class as of the moment. So this video is about the balance update for Rangers and Performers. Rangers have been very underwhelming after the Master skills were released. They have been outperformed by other classes, especially Warlocks that have stronger AoE damage and also long-range magic skills. That is why so many Rangers already switched classes and some of them just quit. This has been the issue for a long time ago, and I think they already figured out on how to make this class viable again. So now let's check out the Ranger skill balance. As you can see here on the Ranger skill set, they now have the Meteor Fusion skill, which is a Stellar Hunter skill, fourth job of the Ragnarok Eternal Love. They now grant Rangers the access to hit for up to additional 2 targets for 60 seconds, but the damage you dealt to the additional targets is only 60%. As you can see here, the AoE is quite huge to hit the other targets. And the other changes of their skill is the third passive of MS1, the Rise of Wind, for which you will add a Meteor Fusion splash effect on the marked target with your marker of winds. But the splash damage effect is only the Fear Breeze, so let's try. And now let's try the full buff. As you can see, it now deals a lot of multiple hits with the Meteor Fusion along with the Marker of Wind's Meteor Splash of Fear Breeze. Now I have noticed that if you use the Meteor Fusion buff, the range of the Swift Ride will not take its effect. I may consider this a bug, for sure it is, hoping that they will fix this before the live update. So I think this is a great addition, and I like it to be honest. Is this gonna be enough to buff Rangers? I think no. They still need to adjust its damage because the Ranger's damage is being outperformed now. Still, this is a great buff for Rangers. Next one, we have the Performers, the Minstrel and Gypsies. Performers are one of my favorite classes in this game because of the SRS skill. I'm always hesitating to switch to this class since I already invested a lot of magic attack stats now. In my opinion, Performers are not weak. Their damage is far better than Rangers and other classes. However, as a semi-DPS class, they are being left out when it comes to PvP or GVG. For some reason, it is because they can only use one skill damage, the SRS or the Raging Storm, which is their main DPS skill. And this skill in PvP is just not really great since it cannot do hard flinching like Meteor Storm. You can just outrun Raging Storm's AoE, and with that you will not deal the full amount of damage to the targets. The other reason is the SRS is useless in land protectors, that is why. So how did they fix this class in PvP? It's still one skill, the SRS or Raging Storm. They now have this enable rune effect, which is the Violent Storm tracking. Now this Violent Storm tracking is a new rune which replaces the Raging Storm's range effect. What this does is your Raging Storm is no longer used on the ground but targets a specific enemy, meaning it's now a targeted skill rather than a ground skill usage. And here, take a look. The damage interval is reduced to 0.2 seconds. Wow! Additionally, damage plus 6% and Raging Storm cannot stack on the same target. So now you are wondering why it does not stack now. It is because the duration is also shortened. If the number of hits are met, which is 10, then the duration will also end. This means the Dusk Concerto is not stackable anymore if you enable this rune. And this is gonna make the performers really happy in PvP, because it is now a targeted skill. That means it will now bypass the Land Protector. Imagine being damaged with a full hits of number of Raging Storm while your allies all inside the Land Protector. That is insane. This, I think, is somewhat really broken now. Time to shine DPS performers. The only problem if you enable the Violent Tracking rune is that you cannot use Raging Storm while performing solo skills, like Shield Resonance. I think this is also a feature. But if you wanna use the Raging Storm while performing solo skill, you can just disable the rune effects to bring the Raging Storm back to its old effect. If you find this video helpful, then please leave a like. Also subscribe to support my channel. As always, thank you for watching, stay safe and have an awesome day. Lights out.